can't see him from right here, but then Saito offers to go and find them for you and relay whatever message you want to have
Okay.
taken to them.
Right. I guess just tell him that we intend to stay the night here to stake out and further our investigation.
Alright, I can do that. I will return if you're still in the same place.
Very well.
So you guys are free to do whatever you want.
I look for one of the prisoners who was who was trying to talk to us before.
Which one, the halfling perhaps?
No, one of them that called out when I was talking to the guy in the cell.
Oh, okay. He's very cheery, apparently. He says, "Hi, here to give me some company?" He doesn't seem to have any marks on him.
I look at him and I say, I'm not sure yet. You don't seem to be the type that would know much of what's going on.
You are oddly chipper for a man in a cage.
It's my place to be here.
Not a normal sentiment, really.
Aren't you afraid of what's been going on?
I don't know what's been going on.
Should I tell him, Soren?
Probably not.
I heard screaming, and people running back and forth talking about some beatings that have been going on or something like that.
Yes, something like that.
You know just about as much of it as we do. I think of it.
Horrible situation.
Indeed.
I have faith that I'll get out of this cage in a couple of days, though.
And why is that?
I've been praying about it. I've been praying to Aurori. Essentially, my caste is one of the slaves. I'm not doing much good in a cage. And you can see that this person is obviously Vudrani. Similar to Jekko, but definitely not Jekko.
Right. That's strange. Is there only one entrance or exit to the slave pits? Or are there more than one?
There's the hatch that goes down, and
Well, I meant like the area.
the area is open. It's not like in a confined space.
Alright, well...
People might not be willing to go into the coins, but it's not like an actual barrier.
Okay. I'm just like, well, shall we just wait for Saito to get back?
Yeah, I suppose so.
Alright.
And so Saito has gone off to tell all these people everything. It's getting to be about... It's twilight right now.
Okay.
And you're still there with Onor.
Yes. And we had decided to wait until Fatco gets back.
Mm-hmm. You wait probably about 30 minutes, and apparently everything went over okay.
Okay.
And Saito comes back.
I say, well, Soren doesn't look like we should have too much problem staying here then.
I think that should work alright.
Onor does mention, do you need us to stay around here any longer?
I don't think so.
Yeah, I think we've got it covered.
Good,
You
because I
remember
was
where
going
his
to leave no matter what you said.
Oh, well, that works out well then.
Oh, very well. You may do whatever you please. Soren, you remember where his house is, right?
Yes.
Okay, very good. I seem to be forgetting those types of things these days. Very well, we will stake it out. One last question from you, Owen.
Shoot.
So you seem to have deciphered pretty well the ends of the affected slaves. Could you tell us where the cells start and where they end?
Yes. And then he relays that information to you.
Okay, and about how long is it? About how many cells?
About 59.
Okay.
Alright.
Kind of is in the 60s-ish sort of area.
Interesting. That's a big group.
Is there a place that we can see them all, or would we have to split up to keep watch on them?
Yeah, if you stand in the middle, you'll probably be able to see them all.
Okay. And that's where we'll set up our stakeout, I suggest.
Indeed. So I kind of position myself towards the middle of the whole thing, and I try and pad out the ground as evenly as possible, kick away any rocks that might be there, and just throw out my blanket and sit down and prepare.
All right.
I take out my spell book in the meantime, and I start going over it methodically.
I'm sort of gonna peer over his shoulder as he goes through his spellbook. I'm just curious.
I take note, and I continue staring at my spell book, but I say, "What are you doing?"
I'm looking at your spellbook.
I say, "I noticed that. Why?"
Curiosity. Magic's always fascinated me.
Well, curiosity isn't always bad, but it can be very dangerous. Besides, it's not like you can understand anything in here anyways.
True, but I like the pictures.
I continue studying it.
I'm gonna go put up my own blanket. Sit down.
Time goes by and nothing seems to have changed. You see the guard pass by once.
Okay.
Kind of greets you, asks a couple of like friendly questions, and kind of just makes a conversation.
Okay. I don't make conversation very well back if he addresses anything to me. I'm just like, yes. No. Okay.
I'd do a little bit of small talk. Not a lot, but a little bit.
He seems to leave you to doing most of your stuff. He's not too obtrusive. You look out, it begins to become nighttime. The moon doesn't seem to be all that prevalent.
It was a miserable day today, wasn't it, Soren? Horribly cloudy.
Oh, I rather like it. Gets the sun off my back a little bit.
When it comes to shade, I much prefer the trees to the clouds.
Then you wait for a while.
Anywhere there's a shadow to slink into. Anywhere there's a shadow to slink into.
You wait for a while longer, and then there's... something odd happens. You begin hearing a sort of... almost like screaming. Or not screaming so much as yelling.
Okay.
And you're... with dark vision and low light vision, you're able to look everywhere, and there doesn't seem to be anything happening from where you can see.
All right. Well, can we go to where the sound is coming from?
Sure, it's coming from multiple places.
Can we tell which one is the nearest?
Yes, it's actually fairly close to you. You mostly have to just walk straight ahead.
All right. Well, we run off that way.
Yeah, absolutely.
It seems to be a different person, and in that same meditative pose, they seem to be kind of... It sounds like yelling at first, but then you can sort of realize that they're uttering the same thing over and over again, and they're actually saying words.
Okay.
What those words are, you don't really understand, but it's
Right.
very, very guttural.
Indeed. All right. I cast detect magic.
Seems like probably prayer or something like that.
It's not magical. Some kind of chant.
That's odd. They
And
all
so-
started about the same time, and he said it's not magical. That's
So this is the same sound that's coming from all over, correct?
hmm
Well, it's not arcane, to say the least. Could be divine.
The sounds could be different depending on whether these people are female or what race they are, or...
huh.
This is troubling.
It
This is one of the same ones that were meditating before.
Yes.
I look at Soren and I say, well, we can't make anything from this one. Let's go find another one.
Well, maybe there's a pattern.
So we go run off to find another one who's doing the same thing.
You go up to that one and you're able to observe them for a couple of seconds, and then they stop, and then somebody else chants differently in a louder tone, and you can almost hear like half of the group that's chanting is doing their chanting, and then they'll stop for a little bit, and then the other group will echo back. But it's not like in perfect synchronization. If you've ever been to like sort of like any sort of like children's camp or something like that, you know how people will just like repeat things?
Yeah.
It's a little bit sloppy. It's not perfect by any means.
Soren, I believe we found the grassroots of blues music of call and response.
What is this blues you speak of?
I'm not sure. This is a problem. One set starts talking and then the other does, and you're not sure when they start or when they stop. There has to be a pattern.
Make it.
I return to the center and try to find out if there's anyone closer to the center.
There's nobody much closer to the center.
Okay, I go off the opposite direction.
You do find somebody there.
And they're doing the same thing. It's like,
Mhm. You're able to watch them for about half a minute, and then everybody stops. Again, in that sort of sloppy fashion.
okay.
They kind of hear everything quiet down, and then there's like one person that's still hanging on, and then they eventually stop.